When I saw the president of South Korea hugging Kim Jong Un, I asked myself, would he do the same with Hitler? Now, the world is cheering Trump.
I gave the President of the United States a standing ovation
for engaging with one of the most brutal dictators ever.
Future of peace and security for the world, for the whole world.
This regime has the worst human rights record on earth. This man runs concentration camps, deliberately starves people for control, and assassinates members of his own family.
Kim Jong Un was believed to be 46 or 47 years old, more than a decade older than the half-brother who has ruled North Korea by force for the last 5 years. Malaysian officials said the elder Kim was waiting for a flight to Macau in the Kuala Lumpur airport when he complained of illness, then died en route to the hospital. For most of his half-brother's reign, Kim Jong Un has been living in Macau under Chinese protection and has occasionally spoken out in mild condemnation of the Stalinist government in Pyongyang.
I escaped North Korea when I was 13 years old. Up until then, my life was a torture. I survived a famine that killed 2 to 3 million people. I ate dragonflies to survive. Ever since I spoke out against the dictators, my relatives disappeared. President Trump, you are sitting down with this dictator without asking for any concessions. Kim is clever. He's using this moment to sanitize his global image and prove how supreme he is at home.
Projected on large screens in downtown Pyongyang, North Korea's iconic anchorwoman, Ri Chun-hee, proclaims Kim Jong Un's summit with Donald Trump a resounding success.
Kim Jong Un said that today, both sides came together to sign the historic joint statement.
Splashed on the pages of North Korea's state-run newspaper, photos of what it calls a meeting of the century. From Kim Jong Un's official wire service, more glowing rhetoric, saying President Trump appreciated that an atmosphere of peace had been created, quote, thanks to the proactive, peace-loving measures taken by the respected supreme leader from the outset of this year.
Very good.
Among the highlights, a huge win for Kim, that President Trump has agreed to end the military exercises with South Korea that the North has seen as a provocation.
This was a tremendous political victory for Kim Jong Un.
Tonight, experts warn of how the calculating, brutal young dictator might turn these victories into a threat.
I've seen this show before. When I was 7 years old, the supreme leader, my God, married the South Korean president. And guess what happened after that? Nothing changed. Kim Jong-il got richer, and Kim Dae-jung won Nobel Peace Prize.
This would be with Kim Jong Un something where he'd be there, he'd be in his country, he'd be running his country would be very rich. If we make a deal, I think Kim Jong Un is going to be very, very happy.
You deserve the Nobel Prize.
Everyone thinks so, but I would never say it.
While Kim's propaganda machine does mention denuclearization, it sells it as an agreement that both sides will give up nuclear capabilities on the Korean peninsula. Not just that North Korea will give up its arsenal.
As a self-professed member of the nuclear club, they will go to zero when the rest of the world goes down to zero.
What did you learn about him, sir?
I learned he's a very talented man.
Trump, the leader of the whole world, acknowledging that Kim Jong Un is a smart and talented guy, is like stabbing the heart of the North Korean president.
He loves his people, not that I'm surprised by that, but he loves his people, and I think that we have the start of an amazing deal.
Trump's embrace of Kim in pursuit of denuclearization has left North Korean defectors and human rights advocates like Jung Hwan-il feeling abandoned. Jung was among a group of defectors that met with the president in the White House after his State of the Union address, where he called the Kim government a depraved and cruel dictatorship. Jung said Trump led the group to believe that he would confront the leadership in Pyongyang about the widespread abuses in the country. Now he feels let down.
I was really disappointed. We trusted this big country, the United States, and we've been working on North Korean human rights issues together until now. But now I'm not sure if we can work together in the future.
In North Korea, poverty is widespread, travel within the country restricted, outside information prohibited, and any dissent is brutally suppressed. Kim Young-hwa, a defector who is part of a group that uses the ocean current to send rice to the impoverished North, had also come to believe that Trump was committed to end Kim's repressive rule. But at the summit, he said, Trump strengthened Kim's hold on power.
He's the head of a country, and I mean, he is the strong head. Don't let anyone think anything different. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
He's the strong head of a country. He speaks, his people sit up at attention, and I want my people to do the same. The President of the United States wants the American people to give him the same attention that the North Korean people are forced to give their leader. Let's just take a moment to look at some of the atrocities documented about Kim Jong Un's regime. According to a 400-page UN report, at least 120,000 people, men, women, and children, are being held in the 4 known political prisons, according to Amnesty International. Former detainees in those camps say they were stripped of all sense of being human. There is no thinking, no free will, just fear. That's a quote. Detainees caught rats to eat. They were beaten by guards if caught with contraband, cigarettes. Some died from the wounds from those beatings. Starvation just isn't an issue in the camps. The regime uses starvation as a means of control, distributing food to those considered useful to the government. One famine in the late 1990s killed an estimated 1 million people. You want this for your people, Donald Trump? Kim Jong Un has consolidated his power by using executions. Citing the Institute for National Security Strategy, the New York Times says, quote, in the first 6 years as leader, he has ordered the executions of at least 340 people. Kim's own family is not spared his brutality and executions. The same Times report says, quote, one of Kim's uncles was convicted of treason and then executed with anti-aircraft machine guns, his body incinerated. The U.S. also says there's evidence that North Korea was responsible for killing Kim's estranged brother last year at an airport with a chemical warfare agent known as VX. You want that for your people, Donald Trump? Is that why you want Americans to sit up and listen to you? Trump is not ignorant of that oppression. Quoting his own words, Trump has said, quote, an estimated 100,000 North Koreans suffer in gulags, toiling in forced labor and enduring torture, starvation, rape, and murder on a constant basis, end quote, from the President of the United States. So it's interesting that President Trump now says he has great respect for this North Korean leader. He wants his people to do the same as North Koreans, sit up and listen to a strong leader. Minutes after saying he wanted the American people to sit up in attention like they do in North Korea, here is how the President tried to clarify his comments.
What did you mean just now when you said you wished Americans would sit up at attention when you...
I'm kidding. You don't understand sarcasm. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
President Trump, why you have given us attention? Use it to free North Koreans. The news can be removed. What can be more urgent than human life? As a leader of free world, you must hold the worst dictator on earth accountable. To the American public, you have the power to tell your president he needs to fight for human rights in North Korea. Use it.